Over the past 22 or so years, I've been coming up with hypotheticals related to the events and aftermath of Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. Some of this might sound like a stretch or overthinking, but 9/11 deserves some overthinking to me. Imagine someone that happened to be looking out the window just to see a 767 Boeing coming at them full speed. Imagine if the buildings fell over and not just straight down. Many more potential casualties were avoided. Imagine having phobias of heights or fire or the dark or water as it's coming down from the broken pipes and you're confined in a tight space with many other chaotic things and people all around you. Think about going through a high stress situation before you got any food in your stomach for the day, or you had sore muscles from an intense workout the day before. Make it as vivid and graphic as you need for it all to sink in. People might have had things to tell their friends, relatives that were destined to die that day, things to apologize for or celebrate. They were unfortunate people who likely took returning home for granted. Could have been on the toilet, dozing off at the desk in their cubicle, laughing with coworkers, giving a presentation, just enjoying the city view. Here's a thought you probably didn't have. Let's think for a moment about the very first plane, the one that hit Tower 1. It came from the north. So that means it turns out that plane traveled down the full length of Manhattan, low and up close. Picture looking out the plane window and being right above Central Park, the Empire State Building, Times Square, Broadway, and one of the largest commercial planes available, a Boeing 767. You won't even see helicopters doing that. There's no permit or ticket or enough money to buy that experience. Nobody will likely be able to claim that privilege ever again. And for the sake of my city's airspace, let's keep it that way. Yes, I said my city. I was born and raised in New York City, and I'm still here. As a New York resident, think how beyond lucky you are that the terrorists on board didn't have something with them like the pilots with atomic bombs flying over Nagasaki and Hiroshima in Japan, keeping in mind that you live within the radius of the potential blast. Think of the idea that your city's skyline changed completely overnight. And since then, you avoid entering any of the nice, pretty little buildings that people dream of getting the opportunity to live by, because you can't help but think of burning and collapsing possibilities. After September 11th, 2001, anything's possible. So you can't brush it off as there's no way anything can happen to this building I'm in. How would it be to think of 9/11 every time you see or hear a plane in the sky? No exception. And forget about getting on a plane. No attendant can bring you a drink strong enough to clear your mind during that flight. The whole time you're praying, crossing your fingers, hoping that this plane ride goes smoothly and lands properly. Good thing the plane didn't hit a random but approximate target like your yard or the one in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Thank God the terrorists didn't bring more fools with them to be on the ground and tear through the streets. I hate to even think another moment about the defendants in this miserable case, but maybe those empty souls didn't even really want to go through with the 9/11 planes. To be clear, I'm not removing them from blame. I still need them to burn harder than the planes that all crashed. They were grown men with grown thoughts and enough free will to back out. And they all believed in a God, supposedly. So there had to be a conscience within them to be like, nah, Osama, this is the plan of the devil. I'm out. Not doing it. I don't know if they're 100% pathetic or just too far past brainwashed. We don't know the bullying, religious pressure, potential punishment they may have faced. Their culture might be way too different to even understand. Imagine a talking cow came to us one day and said, Americans killed my family. I'm going to bomb the US now. Even though that might not be all of us, could we blame that cow? Should it blame us? How do we justify eating its loved ones or not stopping those that do? But anyway, nah. The hijackers, and I'm sorry to waste your time. I do wish, though, that I had an ounce of the convincing skills of bin Laden and other attack leaders. Why not go put that power to good use? Stop crime, put an end to bad intention groups and gangs, rapists, racists, anyone with evil thoughts. I think of the people that happened to call out of work that day, that missed a flight, that stepped out for coffee or to read the paper, use the bathroom, or maybe even stepped to their left or right, fortunately missing out on their own tragic ending. There's those people, and then there's you and me. We're here reminiscing, peacefully for the most part. Most of us with no trauma, no scars, no one personally affected. How lucky, how fortunate, how blessed. Reflect on all the stories that weren't told. Keep imagining. You don't need me for that.